What's up guys? James here from Reflect the Screen, and today I put my VR glasses on for Ready Player One. Ready Player One is directed by Steven Spielberg, some guy. I mean, he's probably new at this sort of thing, right? And the film surrounds two game developers and this world they've created called the Oasis, a virtual reality world. James Holliday, played by Mark Rylance, and Ogden Morrow, played by Simon Pegg, are the two game developers that basically allow humans to put themselves into a world of their liking. They can create avatars of themselves. Well, our story surrounds Waithe, also known as Percival, in the Oasis. He's played by Sheridan. Waithe and millions of other users are looking for an Easter egg left behind by James Holliday that'll grant whomever finds it $500 billion of in-game currency and ownership over the entirety of the Oasis. And like any action movie, there's an antagonist group, and this happens to be the IOI, led by Nolan Sorrento, played by a very villainous and a wonderful actor in Ben Mendelsohn. Now, going into this film, I was skeptical. I saw a little bit of the first trailer, felt like the CGI was a little shoddy, and I didn't read the book at all. But I heard good things about the book, and I was hearing some very positive criticism early on. And I figured, okay, let me go in with an open mind, a clean slate, and I came away pretty happy.
There's nowhere left to go. Nowhere. Except the Oasis.
The film is a ton of fun, and I honestly was screaming on the inside for joy, and my inner child was very happy. On the outside, I caught myself smiling in many moments, especially during the final act. But don't get me wrong, there are a couple flaws that really take this film out of the player one spot at times. The first being, I felt the 2-hour, 30-minute runtime of this film, especially towards the end of the second act, going into the beginning of the third act. There's a lot of build-up for this final battle, and that's all good and fun, but it would have been a little bit easier of a ride if, and this goes into my second flaw, the characters weren't so shallow. Sheridan, Lena, Waithe, and even Olivia Cooke, they're all very safe characters, and the script never really dives into them as a person, so the layering isn't there, which kind of drags the film along towards the middle a bit, but then, of course, picks it right back up from where we first began. But those bumps in the road really did lead to a wonderful payoff. I mean, this film is epic in scale. It's huge. There's tons of pop culture references that I fell in love with, honestly. And I thought that those pop culture references would bog down the film, but honestly they didn't. It appealed to me, it appealed to my girlfriend, it appealed to adults in the theater, it appealed to children and kids. It was a very cohesive film, and that's what I love so much about Steven Spielberg. He doesn't fail to deliver a story that's tight around the corners, it's neat, but it also is just so pleasant. And I love that about Ready Player One. You know, going back to the technicalities of this film, I mean, the CGI is pretty impressive. At first, I'm not gonna lie, I did feel that maybe the CGI would take me out of the moments in the Oasis, actually just in the film in general. But I found myself loving the moments in the Oasis more than I loved in the real world or futuristic Ohio. This was like Ohio in like 2040 something. I loved the moments in the Oasis so much because the CGI kind of clicked, especially during that racing sequence. I felt like it just improved all of a sudden. Maybe my eyes were just kind of used to it, but I loved it. I thought that the CGI was very well done, and it really aided that final sequence, like I keep going back to. There are some breathtaking sequences as well. There's a certain horror film that this film introduces. I'd rather not spoil anything, by the way, in this, because there are some surprises that I'd rather you figure out for yourself. In the final fight, there's so many different Easter eggs, so many different things to look for, and it really is a treat in and of itself when you find these things. And another positive about this film is the score by Alvin Silvestri. It aided a lot of the bigger scenes and help tell a story in the smaller moments. For all of the skepticism I had before the film, by the end credits it was pretty much wiped away. So I think the film really did accomplish being an ode, an homage to my childhood, but also being relevant for today. It didn't get deep. The characters, like I said, were kind of shallow. The film played it safe, but it worked, and it was just a ton of fun. I came out smiling, and you know, I'm thinking about it now and I'm smiling again. I think Spielberg knocked it out of the park with Ready Player One. Color me pleasantly surprised. Well guys, if you loved what you saw in Ready Player One, or if you hated it, go ahead and tell me in the comments below. Give this video a like if you want to, and go ahead and subscribe for more content. If you want to see some stuff that won't make it on film, you can go ahead to reflectthescreen.com, where I do a lot of news pieces and review some things that might not make it here. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and about to go play my Nintendo Switch, so